Hello everyone, welcome to your social studies lesson for today. And today we're doing a quick review of all of the countries that we have learned about before you do your next job, which I'll find out in the next couple of days. Mystery. So what you should have finished by today is your India Famous Person Report. The ones that I have seen are amazing, and I am really proud of all of the work you've done for India. I'm really sorry that we weren't able to make some fun Indian food like we did for the Ukraine and Tunisia. So hopefully maybe you guys can do that at home with mom and dad, maybe for a fun Indian style iftar maybe. So we're going to jump in and talk about the countries. Now, you don't need to do research for this. I'm sharing with you this information just so you can think way back, because we did Peru way back in 2019. Okay, it's been months. And considering we only have 2 months left of school, that was a long time ago, okay? So I'm going to share my screen with you, and here we go. So this is just to refresh your memory and help you remember what we kind of learned about these countries, especially Peru, because we did that so long ago. So remember, we have this beautiful picture of Machu Picchu right here, okay? And we learned that Peru is a country in South America, okay? That the capital of the country is Lima, that they speak Spanish there, okay? And that they have some regions, okay? And you should remember the regions, they're pretty famous. So here's a little map so you can see they have a coastal region. Remember, they had a mountain region, and the mountain range is called the Andes Mountains. And then there was something else that was really kind of a big deal. And I can't remember what it was called, but I think it was a forest, and there's like different animals that live there. So maybe you guys know what it was. Maybe I forget. So remember the regions that we studied. You can also think back about the animals that live in Peru. Okay, look at these furry guys. Maybe you remember what they're called. I'll give you a hint. It starts with an L. Okay. You can think about some of the food they ate, the money, how they have a government, the history, what their quality of life is like. Think about the stories we read and everything. So that is just a quick little review of Peru. So we're going to move on to the next country, which is Tunisia. Okay, and remember that Tunisia is a country in Africa. Okay, there's what the map looks like. The capital city is Tunis. There is a very famous movie that I just love that was actually filmed there. I think the desert was called Tatooine. So maybe you remember what happened there, okay? And you can also remember the region. So remember, there's a coastal region. There's also a very famous sandy area. Maybe you can think of the name of that one. Remember that they speak Arabic and French in Tunisia, okay? And you can think of some of the food. We made some food, so maybe you can remember what they ate. You can talk about what animals they lived there, okay? Think back to what you know about Tunisia. Hopefully that's refreshed your memory a little bit. Now, Ukraine, we've almost just finished it, so I feel like we've just kind of done it. So remember that Ukraine is in Europe, and the capital is Kiev, okay? And it also has different regions. It has a coastal region, it has some mountains, it has plains or steppes, and the Carpathian Mountains and all sorts, okay? It has a famous sea, Black Sea, there's a famous river. Remember, they speak Ukrainian in the Ukraine. Shocking, I know. So yeah, you should think about the animals that we talked about, the regions, things like that. The food, you made something from the Ukraine, again, you should know. And then finally, we have India, okay? And this is a picture of the Taj Mahal, which is a very famous Indian landmark. And remember that India is part of the continent of Asia, okay? And it is a peninsula country, which means that it has water. So you can think about, remember the capital is New Delhi, that the official languages are Hindi and English, okay? The money is the rupee, they have the Himalayas. We've talked about the different regions a little bit, the different jobs, how people make money, and everything else. Remember the animals that live there, you know what the kind of animal is. So those are some of the things that you need to kind of remember. But as I said, I don't want you to do any research today. Instead, what you are going to do is use your noggin up here. You're going to use your brain. You're going to activate your brain power, and you are actually going to come up with a list of things that you remember from the countries. So I did that to quickly refresh your brain. Now, I don't care if you know 20 million things about the countries, that's awesome. If you can only remember a couple, that's fine. I know we did some of the countries a really long time ago. Try to have maybe 3 or 4 facts for each one. I know India, you'll be able to think of a lot since we just did that. But think back for Peru. Now remember, no research. This is just what you know and remember in your heads, okay? So here's what you're going to do. I'm going to share this with you, the whiteboard here. And all you're going to do is you are going to write the dates, okay? And today is Monday. I wrote Tuesday there. May 4th, okay, 2020. And you're going to write, hello, I can share what I know about Peru, Tunisia, Ukraine, and India, okay? So that's what you are going to write for your date and LO. So the next step is that you are going to have 4 boxes. The first one is about Peru. Then you're going to have one about Tunisia, okay? Then you're going to have one for Ukraine and one for India. Hopefully you can see where this is going, okay? So on your page, you're just going to draw it out. So I have my boxes here, okay? So I'm just gonna make it look like this because it's a little bit easier that way. Oh, that was a bad last line, ugh, terrible. And in your book, you're gonna have 4 sections. You know what, I'm gonna erase it because I don't like it. Oh, that's not what I wanted to erase, oops. Oh, nightmare. Okay, Ukraine, again, okay? So in each section, you are going to just write what you know, what you remember about it. So maybe you're going to write that Peru is in South America. I can't even spell America. Oh my goodness, this is a nightmare. I am not doing my best work today, that's for sure. Then maybe you're going to write is in Africa, for Tunisia, and then maybe for Ukraine, you're going to write is in Europe, and India is in Asia. Okay, so there's one fact that you guys can write for each of these. And you're just gonna write as many facts as you can. So if you wanna make your page bigger or have more space, that's fine. You can use your whole page in your home learning journal, okay? So you can literally just use the whole page. If you know a lot about each thing, maybe you wanna use 2 pages for your work, it's up to you. But this is what I want it to look like, ideally. And you only really have to write as much as you know. So if you know 3 facts about each country, wonderful. If you know 4 facts, great. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, keep going. If you can't remember anything, then you should at least have written down this much, okay, that I have on my screen here, because you know that already. And I wrote it down for you. You can also talk about famous landmarks, okay, if you know how many people there is. Remember, you are not supposed to research this. This is just a mind map of everything that you know. So it's to get everything from your mind written down on a piece of paper, just to see what you remember about each thing. So remember, you can talk about food, you can talk about school if you remember what they need to do for school, you can talk about the difference, you can talk about the city, the country, you can talk about the regions, animals, jobs, anything, okay? Just whatever you remember about Peru or about the countries, not just Peru, okay? You've done projects on each of these, so you should have some remembering of those projects that you've done, okay? Remember Ukraine, we did the advert. We did Tunisia, we did the writing, the persuasive writing. Peru, you did a presentation of a cool landmark or festival or person or place. And India, you've just finished your famous person project. So you should be able to come up with some facts. So try and aim for 3 or 4 facts for each one. If you can think of more, I'll be very, very happy. But if you can't think of anything else, then that's okay too, okay? Remember, do not research for this. And that's it. So I look forward to seeing what you can remember. This is due tomorrow, so you have today and tomorrow to work on it. So if you can't think of anything else today, take a break and try and think about it tomorrow as well. And that's it. So I will sign off for now, and I will see you guys again later on. Bye, good luck.